Hello and welcome to Screams from the Center, where I hope to provide information on topics I find interesting and give my perspective on them. On this episode, the Democratic primary. Is it really over? On Monday, June 6, the Associated Press, also known as the AP, declared Hillary Clinton had won the Democratic primary and is the presumptive nominee based on her pledge total of 1,830 at the time, and her support from the superdelegates, who are unpledged, at about 554. This comes out to about 2,384, which was one more than the 2,383 delegates needed to win. Most news organizations follow suit on the same day. Now, beyond the fact that this doesn't usually happen until the pledged delegate total is high enough, and it doesn't happen until everyone drops out of the race also, they went ahead and made this call. So what's particularly worrying about this fact is that the primaries in California, New Jersey, North and South Dakota, and other states, putting up nearly 800 delegates on that day, was not until the next day, Tuesday, June 7th. At the time of the race, or at the time of the announcement, the polls had the race in California within the margin of error. I think Hillary Clinton led by 2 points, and margins of error are usually 4%. Why is it important to make this announcement on Monday, knowing that Clinton didn't have the pledged delegates, nor was she likely to even get the number of pledged delegates needed on Tuesday? Ratings. The AP relies on clicks on a website, so they have to be first. So based on polling the superdelegates, they decided to run with the narrative that Clinton won the primary and is the presumptive nominee. The other media outlets didn't want to sit on the story either, so they parroted the AP story for ratings as well. I think there's a little bit more to this. I think that ratings is pretty much the key to it, but let's go into a few caveats that brought this decision to the networks. Number one, billions will be spent on the campaign, and it mostly goes to the media. This is why candidates like Bernie Sanders, who talk about getting money out of politics, were not talked about largely in the race, because getting money out of politics basically means that you're not going to have billions of dollars spent on the media outlets during the campaign. Number two, the media in 2016 is driven by ratings. Ad pricing is based on ratings, so they need a horse race in order to get people to watch or click, and therefore charge more to these political campaigns for ad buys. Number three, Sanders polls much better against Trump than Clinton does. So there's a closer horse race between Clinton and Trump, and thus more exciting stories, and thus higher ratings, and thus more revenue from ad buys. Number four, Sanders is disliked in the media. They only talk about him in terms of being a grumpy old man, a socialist, or to discuss another candidate. And again, this goes back to something that I mentioned earlier in the video, where I said that Sanders is one that's purporting getting rid of the Telecommunications Modernization Act of 1996, which would break up these large media conglomerations. He also wants to get the campaign finance reform passed. He wants to get money out of politics. And all of these things lead to smaller revenues for these news outlets. Because prior to what Reagan did by not enforcing the Fairness Doctrine, and by what Phil Gramm did by passing the Modernization Act in 1996, is that they allowed these media conglomerations to start making money in their news department. Before these things, news departments ran at a profit loss because they were a public service. That's why when they had an editorial, they would have editorial rebuttals. Remember that on your nightly news? You don't see it anymore. And Sanders wants to go back to that sort of a reality in news. And the media outlets are not in favor of it. So they don't talk to him, they don't talk with him, and they don't talk about him unless it's in a negative context. So, where does that bring us? The result is, in my opinion, that the media hope to rig the outcome of Tuesday's election in Clinton's favor. With or without her knowledge, I'm not making a claim that Clinton is behind this. This is so that they could make more money with a dirty horse race than a sweeping election. As a result, Sanders lost California by 13 points after the Friday average of polls shows him within 2 points. Today is June 9th, 2016. The media outlets are playing up the historical significance of the first major party nominating a female for president. MSNBC is going into particular lengths to play out this narrative. They also did this article on their Facebook page talking about their justification for declaring Clinton the winner. It was all kind of nonsensical things, nothing really tangible. It's like, well, in 1908 they did this, and in 2008 they did this. And it was just a laundry list of things trying to justify why they called the race before it was over, which, as of today, Bernie Sanders has said he will be participating in the Washington, D.C. primary next week. Also announcing, President Obama has said that he is endorsing Hillary Clinton as President of the United States for the Democratic nomination. So is the media playing kingmaker? Now who will they pick? Will they pick Clinton or will they pick Trump? And will we be manipulated by the media, which major network news, is still how a majority of Americans get their news and information? So how will the media, playing a role in picking a presidential nominee and maybe even a presidential candidate to win, how will this affect voting? I believe that we see with this average of polling of 2 points and Sanders lost by 13 points in California as a sign that the media manipulated this primary. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Screams from the Center. Please leave comments below on how I can improve. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. My blog is at screamsfromthecenter.wordpress.com. I'm on Twitter at ScreamsFTCenter and on Facebook, Screams from the Center. Thank you.